Good morning, fellow synchronized earthlings. Have we become earthlings? Have we always been earthlings? Is that a derogatory term to use? Should I be offended? What is offense and does it serve me? Can I control it? Getting offended is a really interesting thing. Really interesting thing. Anyway, Red Earth, Tone 6, Yellow Human Wave Spell. Let's explore. I have limited time today. Thank God for that. My waffle shop is closed today. There's just crumbs left here. Delicious smell of vanilla waffles. Last night I got a dessert of some other cream and raspberries and all mixed into a delicious soup of just perfection. The earth provides us with such perfection, deliciousness. And was I correctly synchronized? Were we all correctly synchronized? One made it and the others received it, and I got to be there to receive it. It was I had a day of Lomi Lomi workshops yesterday, and if anyone doesn't know what Lomi Lomi is, it's a Hawaiian term for need massage. So it was very beautiful. It was three of us, so each got a four-hand massage. It was just wow. Learning to be massaged is as important as learning to massage. Synchronizing oneself with the receptive mode, White Wizard. Synchronization, Red Earth. Synchronizing with the body, Red Earth also. I'm stretching the Red Earth between the body, the dragon, the earth. I'm stretching the body between Red Earth, Red Dragon, and Red Serpent. Actually, Red Moon belongs in there as well. And then Red Skywalker too. So I guess all the red guys are very physical. Anyway, well, there's no separation between physical and non-physical. Just to our senses it appears different, or like as if it's separate. Our mind can think of it as a separate thing. The mind. There were a lot of eagle moments yesterday in the massage. When two people can each take your arm, each an arm, and pull and give you that, really put you into that sense of flying. Also, what happens in four-hand massage, it's even more intense in a six-hand massage, is your mind just eventually checks out. And you really can get into surrender. And learning to be massaged, learning that trust, that the body learns the trust. And it's very well worth, I believe, to get massaged regularly and from the same person. If you have a good massage therapist, that the relationship between the therapist and the body is very important. It's like when you go to psychotherapy or to any kind of psychological therapy, you rarely just go once. It's often a getting to know and then getting to trust. Getting to know means really getting to trust. And trust, are we synchronized with trust? I look at the earth and I look at her, all of her processes, her animals, her plants, her spinning around her own axis, her relationship to the sun. It's all like auto-generative. Excuse me. How does she do it? You know, how does she do it? So she has her seed in the occult, and we all are seed and we are earth to seed. We always both polarity. Maybe the lunar earth is lunar to the ego, to the mind. Maybe it's a challenge, can be a challenge for the mind to realize it is also body. Or there's more to it than. But that's the stabilizer, to understand we are mind and body. And so is the earth. And the earth's mind, we are a part of, our mind is a part of the earth's mind. In sort of more traditional Western civilizations thinking, that isn't a part of, we don't really, I'm going to make a bold and sweeping statement. Generally, we don't think of the earth anyway as a living entity, a being, which has its own mind, its own intentions, its own evolution, its own relationship with its own microbiome, with us, on her, living here. But we have a lot to learn from her. She has worked a lot of the details out, and how does she auto generate? How does she live on light? She lives on light. At the same time, the creatures on her eat each other, whether it's whatever organism that eats the plant, whatever organism that eats the organism that eats the plant, whatever organism that eats the organism that eats the organism that eats the plant. Somehow we live on light. I mean, what is the, then there are organisms that eat the dead organisms. It's just a beautiful circuit or cycle or system, whatever we know. And we are and can be just totally perfectly in harmony, just like that. We eat organisms who live on light. We eat plants. We eat organisms who eat plants. We eat organisms who eat organisms. We eat animals. So the earth has, the human and the earth, they share two. We're in the wave spell of the yellow human. And we have four kins around the center kin of the human and the center kin of the earth. They share two kins, the wind and the hand, the blue hand and the white wind. And the earth's yellow seed is occasionally the guide to the yellow human. And in this particular case, in the wave spell of the yellow human, it evolves, and the human pulsates in a time pulsar in its own evolution into seed. It comes from seed and it becomes seed. The yellow seed, cosmic seed, ends this wave spell. Transcend presence. So maybe we are de-evolving. But we evolve in both directions. We evolve, and all directions evolve into us. The eternal now. Blue hand, healing, accomplishing, knowing. Oddly, it doesn't say acting. Acting is a consequence of intention. And I always think that it's important to know our intentions. How else are we? Sometimes we can't understand why we do what we do or why we don't do what we do. I'm always on about the healing. So the blue hand, the healing, is in the blue hand. It's in other seals as well. But it's very specifically in the blue hand. And if I don't heal, or I don't do what I believe or know to be good for me to do, if I don't eat appropriately, if I don't move appropriately, and I'm not saying we should always listen to what other people think is the right thing to do, not white coats, not the gurus, not your best friend. You have to listen to your own body. What does it need? Listen to all the information. We've got so much information. Oh my God. I mean, really, like everyone tells you something else of what you should do and what you shouldn't do and what you should eat and what you shouldn't eat. And to one, it's toxic. To another, says this is the best thing ever. You know, it's like, how do you get not confused? So this gyroscope spins faster and faster and faster and spins us into our center and in our own center, in our intuition. Wait a minute. Gotta check something out here. Yeah. In our intuition, blue night, cosmic and this wave spell, tone 12. But it will tell us what is the right thing for us. And it's okay to take in information. We can ingest information just like food. We will soon find out whether this information agrees with us. You can eat anything. They say when you go mushroom picking, you can take a small bite of every mushroom. It doesn't really matter how toxic it is. Your body will tell you relatively soon whether or not it agrees with what you've just ingested or not. And it does not necessarily mean it's going to kill you. There is no mushroom that's so toxic that's going to kill you like in an instant. And if it does, well, then maybe it's just gotten you on a psychedelic ride where you're like, oh my God, this is so great, I'm out of here. No worries. Nobody goes not by choice. Anyway, so where am I going? So this synchronization, this healing, this blue hand. So why am I sometimes okay? Now we like really like. The question is, why can't I hear my intuition? Why am I confused? White wind, listening to spirit. The intuition, spirit and body are the same, and not the same, whatever. But listening in. What is the body saying? The body has response, has a wisdom, has a connection to spirit. It can talk to you. It talks to you through throwing up. It talks to you through an inner voice. Spirit talks to you through the body. Body talks through spirit. Whatever the case may be. Sometimes the line is full of static. Mind over matter. The mind can be very strong, and it can force the body into all kinds of things where by the time the body actually gets through to the mind, it may be really through a lot of pain. When it actually gets noticed, some of us are very, very able to ignore pain, chronic pain. We can ignore it because maybe we've always lived with it, or we've learned to ignore pain in early childhood. And there's a fine line between reacting to every little fart the body makes and saying, like, what is it saying? Should I be da-da-da-da-da? No, it's a skill to listen to the body. Because it can be small uncomfort, like, no. And small uncomfort, you know, it's like, it's an adjustment. There's growth pains, there are adjustment pains. If we assume the adjustment pain is already the don't do this pain, we wouldn't go to gym. There's a lot of things we wouldn't do. But who says going to gym is a good thing? You know, like, maybe it's really not a good thing, treating your body like that. Who knows? For some it is, for some it's not. What is the skill to learn to listen to the body like that, to have that kind of cooperation, communication, really working with the body? And what about where and when it's not? When the knowing of what's right for me may be true, but may not lead to the doing. I may know I ought to move more, or I ought to drink different, or I ought to drink less alcohol, or it would be good for me if I stopped smoking. It's not knowing just to think they say it's bad for you, so therefore I should quit. Knowing means really knowing. I know from my body. I know it. I know it. Or I can also know this smoking does not hurt me. It is not bad for me. I know it. Not now. It may be someday I will know it, and then I will know to stop, ideally. What happens when there's like a short circuit or something, and the knowing doesn't lead to acting? The knowing doesn't lead to doing. I can't do the thing that I know is good for me. And that's the point we gotta look at. Like, what happens there? Or when I knowingly hurt myself, when I do something that I know I shouldn't. Same in reverse. Then we can explore the wave spell of the blue hand. We've already done it. But that blue hand is attached to the human. It's attached in the analog best friend, which means we need to look at the wave spell in reverse. Not in reverse. No. We need to look at the analog wave spell, which goes backwards in time. So if there's something not happening, maybe this is like a time to look what in the past has programmed, crept in, that leads to this today. That's the analog wave of the blue hand on the yellow human. We're in it. It leads us to the white wind on the red earth in the analog position, tone 6, rhythmic. And the white wind links us to the antipode of the white human. White wind stands for red earth is synchronize, navigate, evolve, right? So the white wind is breathe, breath, communicate spirit, listening to spirit. Yeah, I mean, I use these words. I get cut short. Right? And then we have this white wind in the antipode, in the most unlike itself position on the yellow human. Ego or self-will or whatever programming is in there. Oh, I'm not doing ego bashing. The ego should be guided by the white dog. If it were, it wouldn't quite be as ego as it often is, but you know what I mean. Like, we just need some love. But this programming in us that leads us to not be in alignment with ourselves, our life, our environment, so that life is an easy, natural flow. Obstacles become challenges that are all right to face, nothing unovercomable. So with this white wind in the antipode, and here today in the analog, and the blue hand in the analog of the human and the antipode of the red earth, these guys here, there's a key here, there's a clue here. And this, interestingly, doesn't give us the answer. It just gives us the tool to investigate. And we can take a step back yesterday about fear. The yellow warrior is fearlessness. The antipode of the yellow warrior. Wait a minute. Make sure not to build in any problems. So the antipode is the world bridger, the letting go. If we have fear, we often can't let go of something. Blue hand again, letting go. In the wave spell of the world bridger, the blue hand is lunar, which means it can be a challenge. That can be the challenge, and that may be the medicine. That may be exactly the thing we need to do. Let go, to make space for something new. But that's all easy said than done. What if we can't let go? And what if we don't even know what it is we're not letting go? Because it's so natural. Because it's so like we can't see it. Or we can and we still can't let go. How about that heartbreak? How about that, all those disappointments? How about where we adjusted to fit in and let go of ourselves and our own needs, and now we can't feel them anymore? We don't know what we need, and maybe we've been shamed or something about this needing anything. You shouldn't be needy. You should be independent. You shouldn't feel this. You shouldn't cry. I don't know. God knows. Like you whatever the case may be. And the field is broad. But what if we can't feel it? What if we don't know it? Who's going to tell us what we don't know? Often people do. And because it's often in our shadow, then maybe there's shame around it. We become resentful or we reject what we're being told. I mean, like the psyche. Whoever thought up this thing? It's just somewhere we can say it's dumb as fuck, and somewhere it's just smart as fuck. You know, it's like this. This is the polarity of the human. Like how we can be so smart. We are so. I mean, a smartphone is like the dumbest thing ever compared to us. Like, excuse my French. It's just like we are something else, and yet we can fool ourselves, trick ourselves, trip ourselves up, and not know it. How the hell is that possible? Like, yeah. So, the earth and the auto generation, is it enough? The auto generation is blue storm. I'm bringing the blue storm in here because it strikes me in as much as the free will of the yellow human is so important. Like, what can we influence? What should we influence? What should we influence but can't? What can we in theory but can't? It's so easy to say everything is choice, but if you don't know that you're choosing, if you don't know that you have a choice, if you don't know that you're making the choice, if you don't know that you could make a different choice, I mean, this is evolution. Learning what are the choices we can make, what jurisdiction do we have, what jurisdiction don't we have, and there are systems in place on this planet that very, very, should I say deliberately, should I say clearly, maybe it's not deliberate, but they teach us inadvertently where we have to toe the line and which decisions we don't get to make. And there the warrior needs to fearlessly question that. What if he can't? Things start coming in. What if I think I'm so right and I'm so convinced that what I'm doing is right, but it's not? And then I don't understand the symptoms or the signals of life. And then what do? Get a therapist. Go talk to, call a friend. Yeah, I mean, how to find peace with all that and healing and all that. So the blue hand and the white wind, spirit, the higher self. The higher self of the yellow human is what? The yellow human. However, there are this is an interesting question. There are 13 yellow humans. The yellow human is part of 13 wave spells, including its own, directly, and then it's guided. A number of those, I'm not sure now how many, are guided by the yellow human. And then there are a whole lot of other yellow signs, 4 other yellow signs, that are also occasionally guided by the yellow human. So the guide, they say, is like the higher self. Today's higher self. If we're asking this question, how do we synchronize in this wave spell? Red Earth. Of course. Rhythmic, red Earth. Rhythmic means organize, balance, equality. Sometimes we need to pray. Sometimes we just need to say, Spirit, tell me what it is I need to know. I am told, and I believe this is one of the most powerful prayers we can say. God, the divine, knows what we need. It is known. We don't need to say, God, please give me X because you don't know that I need X. You're not reliable. You're not here for me. Why is X not here? And I have to constantly search and suffer and or I look around the world. Why is there war? You know, you're not doing your job properly, God. What's wrong with you? Pa 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 pa. Instead of saying, I don't understand. I don't understand God. I don't understand. Any system that explains God to me would probably say there should not be any war because God is benevolent, right? But these systems, I mean, what about free will? Every system says God gave us free will. God gave us free will. And what does that mean? It's, to me, it's so paramount. It's the most important thing for a human. Not the, but like to understand, love is the most important thing. God is the most important thing. But if we don't understand the free will, life on earth, how can it make sense? You're constantly thrown about by circumstances you can't control, by, and what then? And where's God and all that? Throwing you around in like putting you on earth. You put yourself here to suffer? It doesn't make sense. So wouldn't it be, I mean, to me, I don't know, to me, the first thing when I started waking up in my life was like, how the hell does this make sense? How does this make sense here? What the fuck is going on? What is this planet? What is this earth? What is this human? What is this humanity? How does this make sense? It has to make sense. Now, I don't know if I make up a whole lot of stories to make sense of this place for myself. And then I say, you know what? That's okay. I stand by that. And I find my companions of destiny. I find people of like mind. And you know what? Together we're pretty peaceful. We're pretty cool. We enjoy our lives. We have our challenges. We work on them. We're successful at solving our problems. And where we're not, we're okay. We're super supportive of each other. That we share endless amounts of love. It's just beautiful. It's like there's like conflicts are addressed. Me, I'm so extremely conflict avoidant, so I avoid people when there's conflict. I don't really do conflict because I just don't believe in it. I don't understand it. It's not necessary. What do you need? Take care of yourself. I'll always support you. But if you don't know what you need, I can't, support you. I gotta make sure I know what I need and support myself, and then everyone in my life supports me in my needs. It's the simplest and easiest thing. It just flows. That's Red Earth actually really working. I have situations within myself where that isn't quite all that. So I look into those. I have explored that a lot. So anyway, already in previous episodes, I have to apologize for anyone listening. My White Wizard episode from 3 days ago, I have automatic settings that all my uploads are public. But sometimes, for some reason, the algorithms or the software decides, no, we're testing your presence. We're just switching the switch to private. And then if I don't notice it, the upload goes up as private and it's not public. So I saw that the White Wizard had been uploaded as private. So I opened it yesterday. And it teaches me what? Not to be upset about it, because my ego says like, oh, fear says like, that should have gone out in sequence and da-da-da-da-da. Like, no. That's a small thing, you may not relate, but sometimes that's exactly, we get our knickers and knots because of what, compassion, just compassion. And what when we can't be compassionate? What when we go into this like hard sulk, like, and yeah. Anyway, okay. Guided by the red earth. So we have a lot of double power today. We can ask the earth. We can look at the earth. We can communicate with the earth. White wind connects us directly with the earth. We can directly ask the earth, speak to the earth, and you can tell the earth what nourishment you need. And the earth, I mean, do you believe it? Back in the days, we used to poop and pee into the earth, very close to our own fields, so the earth knew what was inside our bodies. She got all that information through what we expelled back into her. She got the information through our breathing, everything. She knew exactly what's going on inside our bodies. She still does. But it's very easy to see in the smaller context. And then when we grow our crops, she puts the nutritional values into the crops to the food becomes the medicine. And she puts it naturally into the herbs, into everything. It's everything. She does it with the animals all of the time. Whatever they eat their own medicine. The earth provides it because she knows what's going on inside. It's it's an autogenerative system. It's just natural. Now we do something slightly different. We drop our droppings into the toilet and they go into some big whatever firm, whatever thing that cleanses the waste and then gives us clean water and does something with the waste. Eventually, I assume it does anyhow return to the earth. So my part in, for me, it's like, okay, the earth still gets that information and she can still put whatever we need into our food. It happens maybe on a global scale now, but maybe it doesn't. I wonder, if there is, or if I get to decide, or if I just get to say to the earth, you know what, you know where I live, you know the food that I buy, it's known in the field, the tomatoes that I'm going to buy tomorrow, past and present are the same. This is a wild thought for some, but it's known. I can communicate directly back through the ancestors of those tomatoes, back to whichever ones of them have the roots in the earth. I do leave my droppings in the earth regularly because I camp out in nature regularly. The earth knows, but even if I didn't, I breathe the air. My information goes out through my breath. What my body needs, the earth knows. And it's like, okay, we know in the quantum field, when I eat those tomatoes, they have exactly what I need. I'm synchronized with the earth. And you know what? To me, it doesn't matter whether those tomatoes come from Germany or from Holland or from China. It's the same earth. I'm synchronized with the earth. My healing, my medicine comes through any food that is a earth-grown food. And I will go as far as saying, even if that is grown, it's always earth. Somewhere it's grown in earth, and if it's grown in a lab, it'd be very interesting to see what we do with 3D printed meat. What information is in there? What will that do with us? Make us more removed from the natural world? Well, Well, okay, so that's the breath. That's the communicative system between the earth. You can do it through your mind. You can talk to the earth and say, please, in the quantum field, with your in-breath, you take in all the nutrition you need. You're taking in light photons. You can live directly off of light. And the information in the body will assemble itself very directly through the light codes, as the body and all the stuff in it knows how to do optimal functioning. And it will use what it has within it differently. It's kind of like I need to still investigate more in that understanding, because every now and then it's like, no, you need more iron. You're iron deficient. Or you need this or you need that. I can fall into that way of thinking. I myself want to be more quantum. I really do. I want to go directly into the field and I'm an information processor. I had a fantastic dream last night. I dreamt my laptop, which I have had for 13 years. I suddenly discovered that the screen could come off like a page in a book, and could come down like the way you close the screen, but it came out from its cover, and you could lay it down, and there was a second screen and a keyboard. And when you took that one down, my MacBook ran Windows. I'm like, I've had this thing for 13 years. I didn't know. I was so excited. It's like, oh my God. Yeah, after my amazing massage yesterday, deep spiritual Lumi Lumi isn't just like we needing the, like, I mean, no, massage is just like anything. Massage is just, it's like physical, spiritual, but you need a massage therapist that works with the spiritual and the body together, put them together, help it rearrange itself, release, get stuff out, get stuff loosened, bring your soul deeper into your body, yourself deeper into alignment. I don't know if that makes any sense. It's just like deep joy. Why do I say it? I don't know if it makes any sense because, I mean, the soul is in alignment. But whatever, sometimes we're a bit off or out of alignment. So that's me wanting to be more quantum or understanding that I already am. And naturally, that way, I'm guided towards, I don't have to think about it. I'm naturally guided towards the foods that have what I need. All of a sudden, I'll be like, I'm going to pick that different kind of lettuce today. I never buy that lettuce because for some reason I just don't. Or whatever, suddenly I'm going out for dinner or for lunch, or and I'm like, I'm going to eat something I've never eaten. Or, you know, it just comes. It just by itself. For me to have to think about my nutrition it's exactly like having to think about what I wear. It's often like, uh, my CPU, my brain wants to do other things. I don't want to think about how to dress or how I look or what I have to eat. I want that to be auto-generated. I want that to work naturally. It's like causes stress to my system. You know, occasionally if I feel like, yeah, today I want to be wearing color, or like most of the time it's just like I just need it to be easy and I need it to be easy to be washed and I don't want to think about combinations. To me that's like, and sometimes I'm like, oh Tatiana, you should go more into like, be more feminine, be more like, dress more, I don't know, you know, but it sometimes it requires, I don't know, either I have a block there or I'm like, yeah, I don't know, it's not all an alignment, I suppose. I don't know. Sometimes like, give me a uniform. I just won't have to think about what I wear because it's like easy does it. But okay, now I'm repeating myself. Am I going to say it for a third time? Okay. Red Earth, synchronize with anything. Synchronize with elegance. Synchronize with beauty. Synchronize with truth. Synchronize with elegant, beautiful truth. Show it, live it, be it. Synchronize with yourself. Synchronize with joy. Synchronize with love. A beautiful friend of mine said, when a woman dresses beautifully, and I hadn't thought about that before. He said, when a woman dresses beautifully, she does that not only for herself. Yeah, there can be the whole ego story, but if it isn't that, if it isn't done out of insecurity and I need to represent something that I feel that I'm not, or I need to attract, you know, because I don't feel I'm good enough, whatever. But if it is otherwise, it's like, or either way, anyway, it makes the world for other humans more beautiful. Because a beautifully dressed human, men included, is a beautiful sight to behold. And that's lovely. So I'm like, yeah, okay. Note taken. So, to me, I want to feel beautiful. It's like not in what I wear, it's in how I wear it. My posture. I mean, you can have such beautiful posture and radiance that you can put sackcloth on a person and they will just wear it like it's a, you know, whatever, a beautiful sari. Saris are like the height of art of beautiful dressing in my world. And so is African beadworks and like, or Maori tattoos. Like this is like the height of making oneself beautiful. Making the body beautiful, honoring the importance of beauty, making our spaces beautiful. I still have issue with that. Living in a beautiful space, and that's got to be my mission for my next magnetic sun incarnation. As that's really the emphasis on beauty and art somewhere got lost for me a bit, and I'm not exactly sure if that's part of my a broken heart syndrome, that's no longer like a disillusionment or like the perfectionist in me who took me off a lot of paths of beauty, that I just ended up leaving because it's something worth investigating. Okay, I gotta go. And great, 40 minutes. That's a short one. I wish us, did I leave anybody out? The focus and the seed potential. Well, yeah, I just planted my seeds. So we're growing, we're evolving into more love, forgiveness. I always I'm into forgiveness, not because I don't want to forgive, but because what's there to forgive? What's the point? I mean, the thing happened. Always let it go. But forgiveness is also a big deal, and forgiving the seeds that didn't yet come to fruition or didn't take wing or grow roots or blossom and bloom when we thought they should or the way we thought they should. Doesn't mean, some seeds, they lay dormant for lifetimes and then suddenly boom. So surprise yourself. I invite us to be surprised. Not every new growth is a weed. And not every weed should be pulled. Some weeds make really, really beautiful scented flowers, and some are very unlikely. They look very different, When it comes to some weeds, they're just, gorgeous. So deeply, deeply purposeful. Deeply purposeful. And, yeah. Love, love, love. I mean, what's the purpose of the anandamide system in our body if it isn't to grow love? Sowing the seeds of love. Aren't we? Let's. Ay, 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 ay. There's a Tatiana that ain't growing any seeds of love, and she is so dying right now. And she's so glad to die, and I'm so glad she's dying, and it's yeah. And sometimes when I'm her, it's not fun. It's just very painful. I'm very disconnected and very oh, this life's not worth living. And you know what? She's right. I love the fact that she was, and she was allowed to be, and now she can go. And now I have to go. Really, really, really. So I want to love and leave us with a lot of healing light, a lot of joy, a lot of compassion for where there's no joy, compassion for the pain, compassion for the seeds we planted that we thought were going to blossom into something beautiful, and then they didn't. And we tried so hard to pull on them. We tried so hard to water them with our tears, with our sweat, with our blood, with all spit, with our love, with all our wanting and desiring and giving and overgiving, and yet they are not growing. So hard to let that go. It can be so hard to let that go. And not to go into disillusionment, and not to go into I'm not good enough, this is never going to work for me, or to keep the joy, to keep the flame going. And every now and then the phoenix has to die. The fire goes out. The phoenix doesn't rise from the glimmer. It doesn't rise from the last glowing embers. The phoenix rises only from the ashes. Please remember that. Sometimes it has to go all the way to ashes. Ashes, cold, 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 dead, 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 gone, gone, gone. No more wood, no more fire, no more flame, no nothing. Don't put another log on there. It isn't going to catch fire. Or do, so that the phoenix has something to, but it comes from the ashes. So that's the nourishment of the earth. Ashes is one of the greatest fertilizers. All right, enough said. Gotta go. Wish us a beautiful day, and thank you for listening. If you've listened, thank you for being here. Thank you for living on this planet and sharing this gorgeous journey with all of us. Your light is unique and beautiful, and you know it. And you gotta love it. I just love it. Dance. All right? Dance, dance, dance. All right. Oh.